I've always wanted to be of service, no matter what I've been doing throughout my life. And I've always been called to Africa. And so, I went to Africa a few years ago and my life changed because here are children that needed a mother. And here's a mother that needed that love of children. So it was, again, a match made in heaven. And I just want to uplift and inspire humanity through everything I do. I want to be a role model for children who, I want to plant those seeds in their heads that, they were born for greatness. And
Real Vegas, real topics, real business with real owners. And collaboration is key. You guys always clearly hear me talk about collaboration all the time, which is key. Definitely when it's for a greater cause. Now, we're not talking about collaboration on creating content. I'm talking globally to provide communities with basic needs, vocational and educational opportunities. My guest today is a great friend with a mission to inspire people around the world to find their purpose and live it. She's a certified life coach, entrepreneur, author, international speaker, and philanthropist. She is the founder of Desire to Inspire and the Beeline Products, and also a host of a podcast, Dawn Witte. My guest today, Dawn, I thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's no problem. It's my pleasure. I have to. Dawn is a good friend for my audience that's listening. She's definitely an angel. When they say your blessings come through other people, Dawn was that blessing for me. She's blessed me with other resources, and I'm very thankful to have her in my life. And we connected online. Is that right, Dawn?
Yeah, I believe it was Good Pods.
Yeah, Good Pods. So if you guys hear Good Pods, definitely a good app for you guys to indulge in. To call all kind of good podcasts. With her podcast also, which I love. But Dawn, before we start, my audience, I know you and I know you're a good friend. She's good at heart. Let the audience know, who is Dawn and your purpose.
Well, of all the titles that I have, my favorite one is being a mom. Being a mom, I think, is like the greatest thing that I could do on this earth. I know that not everybody loves it as much as I do, but I loved parenting my children, nurturing them, shepherding them into adulthood. And when they got to be adults, I had to look at my life and say, okay, well, here's a mom that doesn't need to nurture her children anymore in the same way that I used to. So how do I fill that? How do I, fill that? And there are children in the world that don't have a mom. So it's a match made in heaven. And I've always wanted to be of service, no matter what I've been doing throughout my life. And I've always been called to Africa. And so, I went to Africa a few years ago and my life changed because here are children that needed a mother. And here's a mother that needed that love of children. So it was, again, a match made in heaven. And I just want to uplift and inspire humanity through everything I do. I want to be a role model for children who, I want to plant those seeds in their heads that, they were born for greatness and everyone is here for a purpose. And if I can put that seed in a child's head, then that's what I'm called to do.
Yes, I told you, such a big heart, genuine. I love it every time I talk. When we first met, Dawn and we spoke for 2 hours over the phone, didn't even know anything about each other. She's such a beautiful spirit. Dawn, quick advice for someone who believes unconditional love does not exist.
Just get a dog, get a dog and you will see what unconditional love looks like.
Oh man, you are correct. I love my chili and peppers, you guys know. Now, Dawn is the founder of Desire to Inspire. This foundation is having a great impact, especially in Africa. She's done missions. Dawn, explain to the audience the idea behind the Desire to Inspire Foundation and also the impact behind the mission.
Well, when I first went to Africa on my first trip, I didn't know I had started Desire to Inspire before I went. And I wanted to just share inspiring stories because I know so many people doing wonderful things, whether they dedicate their lives to rescuing animals or, they're feeding homeless people or, helping like pregnant mothers. And I thought, I want to share those stories with people because when we turn on the news, all we hear are negative stories. And so I started the foundation with that notion.
Right.
And then when I went to Africa, I saw people who literally didn't know how they were going to feed themselves the next day. They didn't have access to clean water, yet they were taking in child after child. Mama Josephine in Uganda is taking care of 67 children. And, again, it's a struggle, but she doesn't say no to any of them. And if anything could inspire you, those are the stories that I want to share. Because while there's a lack of resources, the resources exist. It's a lack of getting the resources to the people is what needs to happen in Africa. But we have a deficit. We have a lack of a soul here. We are missing that generosity. We're missing that connectedness to each other. We miss the benefit of being of service. And so I want to bridge those two things, make sure the resources get where they need in Africa, and then also make sure that we understand how very blessed we are.
Right. And I was touching on that, what you were just saying, that do you think the disconnection nowadays was with the generation that even is behind us, is it awareness that they're not educated? Do you think is that the disconnection?
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think that we have so much that we don't understand how grateful we should be with all the things because we take them for granted. We take being able to go to the sink and turning on the water faucet. We take it for granted because that's going to be there. But when you have experienced not having it, it really makes you see things in a very different way.
Wow, and when you think of it like that, it makes you be grateful for the smaller things. That's like even your mission out there. Could you take me back to your first trip there, which turned on the light bulb? It's like, you know what? Like before all this even started, before you knew it, I want to know that first trip, that experience that did it.
Oh, that first trip. I just got goosebumps when I think about that first trip because it was a leap of faith. I had no idea what I was going to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that I wanted to go. I wanted to be amongst children. And I write about this in my book, my latest book, because some of the things that happened prior to me going, I had visions of what my trip was going to look like. And those visions came true. And they were ridiculous. It didn't mean anything to me here looking at those visions, but meeting the people, being there, when I went back home, I thought, okay, well, I love these children. I can't go home in my comfortable life and know that they're struggling for basic things. So how do I help them? And then it just expanded from that first trip to different countries and the things that we've been able to do. We've drilled 3 boreholes in Ghana in collaboration with other organizations. We've moved our children in Sierra Leone from a one room, not a 1 bedroom, but 1 room where they slept on the floor to a place where they all have beds now. We've been meeting basic needs for Mama Josephine in Uganda for years. And just to be able to do that, to know that somebody's life has breathed easier, hundreds, thousands of children have been touched by love and kindness. That makes me feel like, I've done something here on this earth that I'm very proud of.
Correct. Yeah, that is definitely sowing in seeds for not to only impact the present, but also impact the future and going forward. Not only Dawn, which is so beautiful, you play so many roles. I don't know how you get rest, actually, as I was going through it. So not only are you contributing with all these needs that are necessities for these communities, you are also collaborating up in the hierarchy with books that you're producing. So you have a collection of these amazing books which comes from all these beautiful artists from all across the world, and that are, contributing knowledge and wisdom. Could you let us know about the collection of the books also that are available on the Desire to Inspire website?
Well, my first book is called Be, and they're all on Amazon. They're not available through my website. That's a really good idea, Coyle. So thank you. But my first book I wrote for my girls because I thought, one day I'm not going to be here anymore. And there are certain things that I really think are important that they know about love and kindness, like why we even exist on this earth. I know so many people don't think about those things because they're doing their daily lives, but I want to make sure my girls knew those things. And when I wrote it, I thought, well, if it's really important that my girls know this, I think it's really important that, people know this. So that was my first book. I've written, I keep losing count, so I apologize. 8 or 9. I think this is my 8th or my 9th, but Believe, the one you're referring to with the collaboration from people we represent 8 different countries around the world. There are 18 authors. Our youngest author is 16. And we have like all ages, and, we've got men and women, and they're all sharing stories of faith, love, and hope. And I feel like when you have hope and when you are led with love, you can live a very fulfilling life, and, it gets you through the dark times, the hard times.
Right. Now, with the what is the latest that you have that was released as far as the book? And let them know the content of the book. Just a little, not too much, but at least let us know what we can expect out this book.
Well, the latest one is called Believe, a collection of faith, hope, and love. And again, it's the 18 authors, and we're all sharing stories where it was a pivotal moment in our life where we were going through something, and everybody's story is very different, right? But we were going through something, and we learned that there was a higher power. There was a higher power that showed up for us where we can't explain it in human terms, in the physical world that we live in. It's like, that's the faith. And when you see the divine hand on things and you're like, dude, there is no other explanation for this happening than, something beyond ourselves. I want to bring people to that knowledge because that can give you hope. And when it is dark, surrender it to, again, whatever you call your higher power. The universe, God, Allah, like, I don't care what you call it. Like, just know that there's something beyond us.
Right. Man, just like our connection I was explaining, there's no way that we or I could have did it, as far as on my own, as far as even meeting you, the connection that we have, the connection that you even provided for me. There's definitely a higher source that's already ordained those steps. We just have to fill into shoes. And that's where it goes on to that believing. Do you think that I know that believing and having that faith plays a big factor in everything, correct?
Yes. And I've always kind of had the notion, but I talk about this in the book. My faith was not always terribly strong because I'm like, how does God let this happen? The God that I was told that existed, how does he allow poverty? How does he allow suffering? How is that a thing? I'm just like a little girl. If I could do something about it, I would do something. So I questioned for many years. And then, what I've come to understand is that God uses us for his service. And if we don't step into that calling, if we don't help our neighbor, if we don't help the person next to us, then, there is going to continue to be suffering. But if we all learn to just help the next person, life would be so much better for humanity.
Right. You are correct. That is beautiful. Now, Dawn, for the Desire to Inspire and the missions, right now with what's currently what's going on and what you're working on through Desire to Inspire, for listeners that are listening that can contribute and help, what will be one thing that you say that is on the top of the list that will really be needed as any resource that can help, either get things done quicker or run smoother?
Well, so we've been able to do a lot of things, accomplish a lot of things over the last 6 years that I've been doing the Desire to Inspire Foundation. What I would really love, what my vision is to create these centers. Right now, I'm working on two centers, one in Uganda, one in Sierra Leone, where we can not only provide for our own children, the children that, I know and love, but create a resource for the community. So kind of envision like a YMCA mixed with like a community college, but all for free. I see these beautiful children in the villages and they'll be playing, football, soccer, and they don't have a ball.
Right.
They take like bags and they wad it up to play football. And to be able to provide those kind of resources, help people, whatever their passion and their talent is, help them learn their skills so that they can put their gifts, skills, and talents out into the world to earn money, to take care of themselves so they don't have to ask for help anymore.
Right, right. Now those are big steps out there, and that is a big project. Now, Don, how can they get a hold of you to take that step to contribute or even donate? They can donate right
Well,
via the website, correct?
yes, yes. It's desiretoinspirefoundation.org. You can find me, Dawn Airhart Witte, on all kinds of social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. My Instagram just got hacked today, so I'm dealing with that. So, but you
Oh
can look me up and
no!
see me. And yeah, you know what? But these things happen. Again, these are the little things, so I don't sweat the small stuff
Right,
anymore.
right, right, right. Now, Don, let's not forget your Beeline products. I definitely want you to shed light on it. Don has a Beeline products, which provides a line of clothing. She has accessories, posters, skincare, fragrances. It's a nice website. You guys check it out. The link is in the show notes. You can go directly to the website. Let the audience know of your company, the Beeline products.
Well, thank you for that. The Beeline products came, it's like from my book, I have 7 words, and so I wanted to create some merchandise. I am very, um, I donations are precious to me. So if somebody gives me $1, that dollar is going to Africa. It's not going to be like -5 cents for the website hosting and, minus this, and it's going to be a whole dollar. And it usually costs me money. So, so I wanted to create
Right,
merchandise that would uplift people, but also then help me raise the money to do the work that I want to do. Because again, donations are sacred to me, and donations almost cost me because, again, like sending the money over there and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to use donations for my travel and all those
right,
things. So if I'm doing it through the Beeline products to do the work, plus also, I need to eat. I have to feed my dogs, So I felt like, creating this line would be
right.
a good way of raising the money that I need to do the work I need to do.
It's full circle giving. You just don't stop, even through desire to inspire. Also, you just continue to give through your Beeline products. Now, it doesn't get no greater than that. That's definitely a role model, for someone to look up to. Now, I'm interested in the book writing. How long have you been writing books, Don?
Ooh, I think my first one came out in 2017. I've always loved writing. That's a way that I'm able to express myself. I cannot paint or
Right.
draw. I cannot sing, but writing is something that I've always enjoyed because I love reading also. And it's a way to express myself and just share some of the things that I've learned. I've been very blessed
Okay.
to have a very
Okay.
diverse life. I've met the poorest of the poor and I've met the wealthiest of the
Okay.
wealthy and everybody in between. And so I've gained a lot of wisdom from those things and I want to share those experiences with people.
It's beautiful. Now, I know a lot of podcasters who are writing books or even wrote books, and a lot of even clients I know that most of the time, those who are writing and they have this book that they haven't published officially, they kind of don't know what they already have. Like they already have a masterpiece, but they're like waiting for something more, but they don't know, like, man, you already have something that's really good. You have a good product. What would be some advice out there to those who are really struggling to really don't know where to go, and they have this book written out, it's sitting there, and they look at it every day, and they're like, should I put it on the social media? Where should I go with it? What would you give the advice of the first step to someone who has a rough draft that's ready to go?
Reach out to somebody who's done it, and I think one of the hardest things when you write something from your soul, to put it out there in the world to be judged and people to that's a kind of scary. But I say, like, take that leap, because when you take the leap into the unknown and the things that are scary, that's where all of the magic happens. And so don't hold back. Like, do look up who, look up publishers, look up somebody who's already done it. Get your advice, like figure out how you can get your book out there, because the world needs to hear it. If you felt called to write it, somebody needs to hear it.
Yes, yes, good advice. Let us know about the Soulful Conversation podcast. That's what got me onto Dawn, you guys. Like, she is a podcast host now. Let's not forget. She does everything. Let us know about the Soulful Conversation. You guys got to check that out.
I have been so blessed to meet so many amazing people from around the world who want to uplift humanity too. And so I wanted to bring these people together to have real conversations, and talk about real life challenges and how we deal with them and how we get through them. Because, life is hard. It is hard. And so, like, how do we navigate it? I want to give people some different ideas about how to navigate life's challenges, because I promise you, whatever you're going through, on the other side of it, there's something beautiful. You just have to stick through it, and you will get through it. And there's a lesson to be learned from it.
Right.
So that's why we started it, and I've enjoyed doing it. Yes. I love talking.
Dawn. And it's a great podcast, you guys. That's actually how I met Dawn. She reached out, we communicate, we talk. Dawn is just beautiful every time we talk. We're like, we can get done with this session, we'll hop on the phone, and we'll literally have another podcast session together on the phone call. That's just chemistry when it's built like that. It's beautiful. So, Dawn, before you get out of here, you're going to have some decisions to make. We're going to play this or that, baby. Let the audience know who you really are and what you like. And then we're going to see how very, very Vegas you are. All right. So with this or that, your first one, Dawn, and I know you travel a lot. So you travel a lot. Would you choose Delta or United? Which one do you prefer?
I would say Delta.
Delta? Cool. Okay. And I figure you would. I was like, you know what? Let me ask her this. The audience will love her take, especially for someone who travels a lot. Do you have a preference that really sticks out that you could say why real quick?
I typically have flown Delta because they typically have more direct flights to the places that I need to go. And that's how I base my flight choices. It's not like any kind of affiliation with any airline. It's just like, who has the most convenient flight for me?
Right. That's right. Convenience always wins. Yes. You can't beat that. Now, this next one, do you prefer, are you a juice or a tea lady?
Oh, gosh. Can I do other?
Oh, so what is your other?
I drink coffee. I enjoy my Stella Artois sometimes, and I'm a water drinker, so I don't really do a lot of tea. And I do juice every once in a while when I'm trying to do a cleanse stuff. So I guess I would say juice.
Gotcha. What's your favorite juice? Like, what's your favorite out and about? Like, if you're out and about, you just happen to stop, either eat gas up or something. Like, what's your go-to? Like, let me grab a bottle of this. What would it be?
Water. I know it's so boring, but water.
Water? That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I actually need to do that. It's like when you say that, that's motivating. Like, cool, I need to do that. Stop putting my bucks to things that kind of harm my health later. So that's perfect. So this next one now, you take me as I was doing research on you as a teacher. For some reason, it just struck me like she's a teacher, you know. If you were to teach and you had your own school, would you teach elementary or junior high students?
Elementary for sure.
Elementary? Why would you prefer the elementary?
Because the younger children are, the more receptive they are. You know, we like our identity forms
Right.
between the time we're in the womb to when we're 7. So the younger you are, like the better it is to be able to plant those seeds. And, you know, by the time they get to be teenagers, you know, life has already like taught them some lessons. But, you know, if you can tell a 6-year-old that they're born for greatness and there's something that only they can bring to this world, that's going to form who they are.
Correct, correct. Wow, that's beautiful. And that all goes into the parenting too. You know, I always stick to parenting. I'm always preaching to parenting. It starts with the parenting, what we're doing. Let's be aware of how we're parenting before we blame schools, teachers, governments, preachers, anything. I think we have to blame us, each other as parents first. And that's where it really starts at. Thank you. Yes. Now we're going to see how very, very Vegas you are, Don. So this one, we're going to
Uh,
see you get thanks to triviaquestions4.com for this question. So name the kind of food that is consumed in Las Vegas more than anywhere else in the country. And I'm going to give you 3 options, okay? Make it a little easier.
okay.
So again,
Thank
it's
you.
name the kind of food that is consumed in Las Vegas more than anywhere else in the country. Is it tacos, shrimps, or chicken tenders?
Oh, shoot, that's hard. Shrimp.
You got it, baby.
Did I?
You got it. Good job, Don. It is shrimps. It is shrimps. Hey, are you a seafood eater? You eat shrimp?
I don't. I've been a vegetarian for 30 years.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. For some reason, I see myself down the line gradually getting that way as I get older. I see myself liking less fat, meaty things. It's not that when you start to be aware of certain things and you start to read more, educate yourself more, it's like your body aligns with the mind, and what used to be, you know, tasteful or what used to intrigue you doesn't no more. And it's funny how it's not just the taste of food; it's the taste of a behavior. It's the taste of a emotion. Am I making sense?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it was not health. I love animals. You know, when I look at a cow, I just want to pet them. When I have like a chicken, like I just love animals. So like the notion of eating them hurts my heart. So that's why I do it.
Wow, beautiful. Don, let my audience know where can they reach you, the website and your social media handles.
Thank you. Well, again, website is desiretoinspirefoundation.org. The product line is thebeelineproducts.com, and it's BE, not BEE. And my name's Dawn Airhart Witte. You can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. And, you know, like again, I'm around, so you could find me on social media and on the internet.
She is active everywhere on social media. She's a beautiful soul. If you guys do follow her on social media, you will be inspired. She inspires us daily with posts, which I love. I make sure I catch it. Thank you for everything, too, Don. Not to mention, I would love to give you your roses on the air. You've been a great friend since I've met you. And I thank God that you came in my life.
Well, thank you. I feel the very same about you. I think you're amazing. I love the passion you put behind what you do. And so thank you. I value our friendship.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know yes, but my door is open at any time, you guys. Dawn Witte, you guys grab her book. Everything is in the show notes, you guys. You could go directly to her. Beautiful soul, beautiful woman, big heart. Check out her mission. You guys help her out on the mission. Click on the links to donate and help the cause, you guys. Dawn, I love you, and I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Likewise, you guys, audience, I love you guys, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here, and I will see you guys next Friday. You guys take care, and good night.